Travis Kelce and his teammates walked silently into the locker room after the Kansas City Chiefs suffered a painful defeat against the Los Angeles Chargers. Inside the Arena Corinthians in São Paulo, Brazil, the atmosphere shifted in seconds. What had been a roaring sea of tens of thousands of fans, exploding with energy through 4 nerve-wracking quarters, suddenly collapsed into heavy silence as the Chiefs left the field in disappointment. All eyes turned toward Travis Kelce, the iconic tight end and emotional leader whose lowered head and burdened shoulders revealed the weight of the loss. The final whistle signaled more than the end of the game. It marked the realization among the Chiefs players that a massive opportunity to stamp their dominance on Brazilian soil had slipped away. This was no ordinary matchup. Millions worldwide tuned in, drawn not only by the rare international stage of the NFL, but also by the glamorous presence of global superstar Taylor Swift, Kelce's fiancée, watching anxiously from the VIP stands. Yet, instead of celebrating a triumphant night to remember, the Chiefs were left with heartbreak, their dreams of victory replaced by the bitter taste of disappointment. As Travis Kelce and his teammates walked into the tunnel leading toward the locker room, the stadium still echoed with roaring cheers for the Chargers, the team that had fought with resilience and capitalized on every mistake the Chiefs made. The almost unbearable silence of the red-clad Kansas City players stood in sharp contrast to the electrifying atmosphere outside, creating an unforgettable and haunting image. Kelce, the shining star and emotional heartbeat of the roster, remained the undeniable focus of media attention. He had delivered a stunning touchdown in the third quarter, igniting hope for a comeback that briefly lifted the Chiefs' spirits. Yet costly offensive errors and an uncertain defense turned all of those efforts into heartbreak. Travis poured out everything, giving his absolute best, crafting chances and lifting teammates with his inspiration. But football, brutal in its Mampa Wartsin beans. Truth is a collective game, and no single man can shoulder the weight forever. A Brazilian reporter remarked on that reality after the clash. When Kelce removed his gloves, placed his helmet down on the chair, and sat with eyes red yet composed, millions watching on television felt the heaviness. This was no ordinary loss. It was a warning that even champions can lose rhythm. Silence consumed the room as the locker door shut. The players sat quietly on their chairs, some with bowed heads, others leaning heavily against the wall inside the locker room. The faint sound of shoes tapping against the floor, the deep wheezing of exhausted breaths after a brutal battle, and the soft rubbing of towels were the only noises breaking the silence. Coach Andy Reid then entered, standing firmly in front of his men, his eyes scanning each of their faces one by one. He did not shout, he did not criticize, but spoke just a few steady sentences. We had our chances, but we let them slip away. Learn from this mistake. The season is not over. Keep your head up. Those words echoed within the tense space, sparking quiet reflection. Slowly, conversations began, whispers turning into low voices. Patrick Mahomes, carrying the weight of relentless pressure through 4 grueling quarters, approached Travis. Kelce gently tapped his shoulder and shared something only they could hear. Adding to the emotional tension was the presence of Taylor Swift. Cameras repeatedly caught her worried expression during the fourth quarter as Kansas City squandered chances. After the loss, Taylor did not appear publicly, but instead slipped through a private corridor backstage. Sources confirmed she was seen quickly making her way toward the Chiefs' locker room, but she kept her distance, allowing Kelce and his teammates the private space they needed. Their bond is undeniable. Win or lose, Taylor has always been there. Yet on this night, she knew Travis required time surrounded by his brothers on the field, a backstage witness revealed. To many fans, it may have seemed like just another defeat, but for the Chiefs, the weight was far heavier. They were chasing the defense of their crown, fighting to etch a lasting legacy into NFL history, and every stumble felt like a crack in the wall of pride they had built. This game in Brazil carried even greater significance, representing a chance to expand the league's influence into the South American market. Expectations were high for Kansas City to showcase its dominance and ignite millions of new supporters, but instead, the result sparked difficult questions. Was the team losing its trademark sharpness? Kelce appeared later than usual at the post-game press conference, dressed simply in a t-shirt, looking weary yet composed. We fought hard. Nobody wanted this outcome, especially before such a passionate crowd, but credit to the Chargers. I accept responsibility for my role. We will return stronger, Kelce said. Mahomes echoed the same disappointment. We had opportunities, but we failed to seize them. That's my fault. The team's fault. Still, we have a long journey ahead. Outside the stadium, hundreds of loyal Chiefs fans waited, passionately chanting the names of players, especially Travis Kelce. Some even lifted handmade signs written in Portuguese. Sempre cum Travis! Always with you, Travis! That unwavering devotion helped soften the sting of defeat inside the locker room, reminding everyone that even in heartbreak, the love of fans never fades. On social media, the hashtag #DarmChiefsInBrazil surged quickly into a global trend. While there were plenty of harsh and disappointing reactions, waves of encouragement also poured in for the squad, with countless messages of support directed toward Kelce in particular. Many fans even shared a viral image of Taylor Swift gently holding Kelce's hand as they left the field together, calling it a symbol of unconditional strength and companionship. This painful loss will certainly force Kansas City to reflect on every detail, from strategy to mentality. The upcoming schedule is unforgiving, demanding the team quickly rediscover their confidence. For Kelce, setbacks are nothing new, but his unshakable spirit as a leader will help lift teammates forward. Travis remains the heart of the team. He is hurting today, but I believe he will be the first one to rise and pull everyone forward, a teammate shared after the game. When the dust began to settle, Travis Kelce sat quietly in a corner and pulled out his phone. Cameras were not allowed inside, but according to a source, he received a heartfelt text message from Taylor Swift filled with words of comfort. For Mao, a brief moment, he smiled faintly, a small but meaningful smile, enough to break through the darkness that surrounded him. That was the last image before the team gathered their belongings, left the locker room, and boarded the bus heading back to the hotel, a moment that revealed that even in defeat, rays of hope remain. The story of Travis Kelce and his teammates quietly walking off after the painful loss to the Chargers was far more than just a behind-the-scenes snapshot. It powerfully reflected the true essence of sports: pressure, heartbreak, but also the chance to grow stronger. For Kelce, the sting of this loss was real, but it also became fuel, driving him and the entire Chiefs squad to rise again in their pursuit of defending the NFL championship. Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worthy is ruled out for the rest of his team's season opener after suffering a friendly fire hit from Travis Kelce on one of the first plays of their matchup in Brazil against the Los Angeles Chargers. Worthy was running an underneath route on a passing play during the contest at Arena Corinthians in Sao Paulo and was caught off guard when he collided with Kelce in the middle of the field. After rising slowly to his feet, Worthy was spotted, walking toward the locker room with team trainers, a towel covering his head. He was taken for x-rays before being officially declared out for the remainder of the game. Losing Worthy is a devastating setback for the Chiefs' receiving corps, which is already missing its primary target. Wideout Rashee Rice is not dressed for Kansas City as he serves a 6-game suspension for breaking the league's personal conduct policy. Rice has faced ongoing legal troubles for more than a year after being involved in a high-speed hit-and-run crash on a Dallas highway in March 2024. In July, Rice pleaded guilty to a third-degree felony charge of collision involving serious bodily injury and a third-degree felony charge of causing bodily harm. Rice received a sentence of 5 years probation and 30 days of jail time, along with an order to pay $115,481.91 to victims for medical costs. Additionally, Rice resolved a lawsuit filed by 2 victims by agreeing to pay $1 million plus their legal expenses. He still faces another lawsuit from a different victim. Without Rice, the Chiefs expected to rely on Worthy for most wide receiver targets, but now they must look deeper into the depth chart. Other pass catchers for Kansas City include Maris, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyquan Thornton, and Jason Brownlee. During his rookie year in 2024, Worthy ranked second in receiving yards behind Kelce, making him first among the team's wide receivers. He secured 59 of 98 targets for 638 yards and a team-high 6 touchdown receptions.